So, the last few days, I have uploaded some of my beliefs on God, some of my beliefs on evil, such as Satan and the devil and the serpent, and I have released some of my beliefs on the universe, on Utopia, Haven, Heaven, Hell, and more. And then I just released some of my beliefs on Romans 3:23, which I highly recommend you check this one out. Romans 3:23, really good. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more of my beliefs. I started out agnostic, where I had zero memories and zero beliefs. So I was borderline atheist, but at the same time, I never really resonated with atheism. I kind of just was like, sure, I'm an atheist because I don't really believe anything yet, you know. But I really did. I believed in all kinds of things. I always kind of shunned atheism. I was like, you can't not believe in anything. You're here, right? You're existing, right? You have to at least believe that. Like, there's no such thing as like true atheism. Like, the only person that's truly atheist is dead or non-existing. Anyway, I grew up agnostic, is what I would call it. I was just very openly agnostic. If anybody ever asked me like, "Oh, what's your religion?" I'm, agnostic. I was raised Lutheran. I went to church. I wasn't really raised that. I was kind of forced there. I was dropped off at church. They just dropped me off and left. Left me and my brother. We both had to go to a Lutheran church. And I kind of just never went to church unless I was forced to, for the most part. And then as I got older, I studied. I was like, you know what? I'm fighting the war on terrorism, basically, on darkness and evil. I might as well read the Bible again. So I read the first part of the Bible, which was written by Moses. I read right here Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and I think I went a little bit more than that, but not much more. And then I kind of went back to just spot reading. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is my major beliefs on the universe. I believe in infinite microparticle. I'm a big believer in that. I believe in aliens, like Krishna, and I believe in the Rainbow Gathering. I went to a Rainbow Gathering. It was pretty much exactly just like this, as you see right here. And I learned magic was real really quick there. I was like, holy crap, they have insane magic there, actually. And their magic is love magic. It's very, very high tier love magic. And shortly after, I met Krishna in person in his alien form. And, this is where you're going to tune out. You're going to be like, no, you didn't. I'm not going to believe in that. And some of you are going to go, well, of course I believe in that. I met Krishna, and Krishna is a real deity, living Lord. I believe that he's part of the light army. I believe that, he works heavily on order, peace and love, beauty, grandeur, all these kind of nice things. And, just meeting him, I was blessed with meeting him. When I went to a Rainbow Gathering, they came over to me from the Krishna camp because I went to their camp. And I was very peaceful, and they gave me free food, and I ate it. And they came over and did song and dance and prayer around my tent. Extra, too. More than everybody else. And I was very thankful. Very peaceful, very polite. And about a month or two later, I ended up meeting Krishna. And Krishna, at this moment in time, was king of his species, as far as I believe. Not only was he king, he was also diplomat. He was a diplomat. He was in similar armor to this right here, except it had shoulder pads that were silver, similar to this. He looked very similar to this. And what he told me is that he's meeting with me in bio-augmented reality. He told me that in a idea flash, that we have such upper dimensional technology that I'm super far away on my planet, and you can see me perfectly, and I can see you perfectly, And he told me that instantly with one thought. Now, Christian is a linguist master. He was able to write 5 strings of idea. Now, right on top of his mind, I could see 3 strings of English, all different, all going at the same time. He has such high clarity that he can help me understand it all instantly. He knew that I was able to understand it all. He would stop and pause, and at any time he would grow the idea so I would see it. We were so enlightened that we could speak at this level. He could speak at this level, and I could understand at that level. Above that, it felt like he had more control on gestures above his 3 lines of English, right? That were all around where his face was. 3 lines of English, and he had most of his will above his English. And then underneath that, he had another kind of like a segment area that he was speaking in, similar to like emotion direction. He was trying to direct me and define the moment. And when I'm talking about a language master, I've never met anybody in my whole life that mastered language like Christian. He mastered language so much better than just about everybody in the universe that I've ever met. I mean, one time I believe that an alien god looked at me and he saw so much. Now, that's similar. Like, I just never connected with somebody at a level where I could see everything that they're doing. They could see everything I'm doing. And they were just such a more enlightened being than anything I've ever encountered. And, when they say Lord, that's a very strong title. That means owner of themselves. And you can't be a sinner and a Lord. That's the opposite of being a Lord. That's basically condemning yourself to mortality. Now, you could have sinned and still be a Lord. I'm pretty sure on that one. Like, if you have sinned before, you can absolve and repent and earn your way back to Lordom and become a Lord. But, I'm talking about my beliefs right now. I'm not going to cater to anybody else's beliefs. I'm going to tell you exactly how I think the universe works. And, I'm doing good, so I don't know. I don't know about the next guy. I'll tell you, you judge the next guy and weigh him against me, and you pick your path that way. But, yeah, I was an alien. Not in my past life or anything weird like that. But for moments, I was granted passage to something similar to what you're seeing on my screen right now. Except I was translucent. My skin for about half an inch to an inch was translucent more. And underneath that was a vibrant, bright, white light inside of that. It would shoot out white light, and I was in control of everything inside of my skin and my aura and my emanations and my color. That white light could shift to other colors. Like if I felt like I was in love, I could change into pink. If I felt like a certain emotion, I could change it to like blue. And I was in control of it. If I looked at any point, I could change anything. I could write anything on my arm. I could make anything. And what I was mostly doing is I was mostly making abstract things, abstract art in my body. Beautiful abstract art, auric neon art on my body, and I was emanating that all over the place. And it felt pleasurable, where I was emanating love in definitions in every direction around my body. And I was a humanoid figure similar to a human. I was in this form for 3 seconds. Exactly 3 seconds. And then I was taken back instantly into my form that I'm in right now. Now, at this time, I was heavily believing that my spirit is a separate thing than my body. Now, I've reclaimed my body as part of my spirit. And what I'm trying to help you understand is like consent is one of the most important things to the infinitely powerful. If you believe in something, they will help you make it real, unless it's sin. If it's sinful in nature, they will probably fight it because the other person wants a type of way as well. And you're going to have to war for it. And you're going to have to win the war if it's sinful. And it might not last that long. Now, this is very hard to tell you the beliefs that I've had, because I've basically been through so much. I've been through lucid dreams where I could do things like the Matrix. I could warp reality. I could teleport. I could terraform. I could fly. I could levitate. You know, if I closed my eyes, I would disappear to a complete darkness where nobody was, and then I could go home instantly just by knowing that I'm home and building that area around me. And I wouldn't be in a replica. I would be home. I could sentence myself to where I would be in the universe. I could cast myself to these places. I was able to do all of this, and I was able to have superpowers where I could see through walls. I could manifest weapons almost even. If I believed that there was a weapon there, it would be there. If I knew that there was a weapon there, it would be there too. I could come up to somebody that has a weapon, tell them, give me your weapon, and they would give me their weapon. My reality in lucid dream is I am Neo. I am fully mastered in lucid dreaming. And I can pretty much do anything. Now, there's infinite strength in the universe. That's what I truly believe. And there is always going to be root universe law. But as it comes down to it, there's more things than just lucid dreaming, where there's like inception dreaming, where people are trying to dream hack you. And I want to talk about Avatar, because Avatar is I like the movie Avatar. Their forms are very symbolic to me, because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was in Avatar. It felt like I was in that, except not a dystopia, like kind of, or not like a tribal utopia either. Kind of like Avatar is in between the mix. It's like a mix between the both. It's in between a dystopia and a tribal utopia. Instead, it was a mecha. What's it called? A planet-wide city. Ecumenopolis. The planet I was invited to was an Ecumenopolis. This is what it looks like. Pretty similar. The planet was one big city. Ecumenopolises. This is where, if you're a gamer, if you're a future-minded person, you like Star Wars, you like this kind of stuff, this is what you want to think about when anyone ever asks you, where you want to go in your life. You probably want to go to an Ecumenopolis if you haven't ever been to one, because it's way, 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 way more than this Earth that you're on. You know, it's way more than what we're thinking about. And I mean, you got two different sides. You have tribal utopia, and you have Ecumenopolis. Those are basically like the two different directions you might want to go from Earth in order to experience something different that you might like. And I would not forget this. I would not forget Ecumenopolis, because that is where I want to live. I want to live in an Ecumenopolis. And there's no reason I shouldn't pass the bar of order and peace, you know, productivity, that kind of stuff. I should be able to make it into an Ecumenopolis. They can be able to host life forms super easy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That is my beliefs on the universe relative to my experiences, my agnostic side of me. That is what I have faith in. I believe in what I've perceived. Like I've said from the beginning, I came from borderline atheism, renouncing atheism, into agnosticism, into this now. I've evolved to a state of being where I am understanding what a spirit is. A spirit is a fifth dimensional, infinite micromatter, redundant life form operation where we're destroying and healing our body to keep ourselves alive. Thank you for watching. OMG Bomber out. Peace.